Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'd like to show you how I made this curved, ergonomic, really comfortable footrest for under your desk. So if you spend a lot of time at your computer, this is really comfortable and will allow you to work in comfort for longer.
So I have some scrap materials. I've got some old offcuts of 2x6 and some bed slats. That's what I'm going to be using for this build. I started off by measuring out the length of these 2x6s. They're 15 centimeters high and around 33 centimeters long. So using a speed square, I'm just going to make some marks. Then I could cut these out on the miter saw. So my miter saw doesn't go all the way through these 2x6s, so I just finished off the cut with a handsaw. I could use the first one as a template to mark up the second one, and then cut that out in the same way. So now I measured 2 centimeters up because the front end will have a bit of a thickness to it, and then I can use a metal ruler and some clamps to help me to draw a curve. And I want a nice subtle curve, nothing too steep. I then used the jigsaw to cut out this shape. As the wood is quite thick, I took my time here. I could then use that cutout piece as a template to mark up for the second piece. So now with the two pieces clamped together, I could give them a good sanding down to make the tops nice and smooth. So for the finish on these side pieces, I have this old navy blue boot polish. I thought that would bring the grain out nicely and look quite good, so I applied that. The idea of this project is to make it and spend as little money as possible. So pretty much everything I'm using is free or leftovers. Once it was applied, I could buff it off with a cloth. And it turned out quite nice. You can see the grain popping out there nicely. So now moving on to the slats at the top. I started to measure up a slat 35 centimeters long by about 6.5 centimeters wide. So the slats are slightly longer than the side pieces, and that will make it look roughly square when it's put together. So once the one was cut, I could use that as a template to cut the others. And I ended up with 5 pieces. Now with a round over bit in my router, I went round all the edges on the tops. Then I gave them all a sanding down to smooth over all the edges. And for the finish, I'm going to use some liquid boot polish. Then to finish them, I wanted to add some neutral shoe polish just to seal everything and give it a nice matte sheen. And I think they turned out quite good. And I also added the neutral shoe polish to the side pieces. So now I needed to attach the top slats to the sides, and I'm just offering them up here and working out where I want the holes to go for the screws. So with the help of a combination square, I used an awl to punch marks out ready to drill holes. So now I could offer them up and start to attach them to the side pieces. Again, with help from the combination square to make sure everything is square. And I'm drilling a very thin pilot hole down into the side pieces to help the screw go in straight. Once the top and bottom was in, everything would be nice and square, so I could then add the rest. So now just using a small drill bit as a spacer, there's just some slight gaps that I need to add here. So that was the footrest all done. I think the colours came out quite nice, and I think it'd be quite useful.
So that's about it for this video. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. It cost practically nothing to make. I just used some scrap materials as you saw in the video, and it's actually really comfortable. So I would advise, if you're looking to increase the level of comfort at your desk, why not make one of these if you have some scraps lying around. So if you found this video useful, please remember to like and also consider subscribing for more DIY related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.